do it.
The following is brought to you in part by MFC Studios. The views of the show's host and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management, owners, or staff of this radio station. And now, it came from the radio.
I already messed up.
That's it. Show's on.
Yapatoy, and welcome once again to It Came From The Radio, the official show of the Big Apple Con. This is your host, Mark Torres, speaking. I'm here at the East Meadow Public Library for our 96th live show in front of a live studio audience.
Yay!
I'm here with our senior correspondent, Charlie Saladino.
Hello, fun seekers.
I have Man Jenny Feldy.
Hello.
And I have our special guest who's going to be talking to, with, and about, which is awesome. It makes my life easier because he's right here. It's author John Collins.
Beware.
Not to be confused with Joan Collins.
Yes, two different people.
Oh, dear God.
As I mentioned, we're going to be talking to John in just a few minutes, but before we do any of that, we have to take it away with the news. The news is brought to you in part by the fine folks at sci-fi.radio. That is sci-fi,
For your Wi-Fi.
as well as the fine folks at the Big Apple Con, of which we are the official radio show of, celebrating over 26, 7, 8, 9 years of comic bookness and pop culture stuff. For more information, go to www.bigapplecc.com. Their next convention is scheduled for November the 22nd, and tickets are on sale right now. Also want to give out shout-outs for our Patreons, of which there are Danny Grillo, award-winning director Jared Burrell, Newsday famous Dresden Media, Shadow Rabbit Art, Yasmin Array, The Huracan, and Millie Portes. The Huracan is also a convention on November the 22nd, but that's in East Rockaway, New York, and you have to go down there in person to get the tickets from. And also, if you want to have a shout-out on our show, go to our website, www.itcamefromtheradio.com. There's a little button on there that takes you right to our Patreon page. And also on the It Came From The Radio website is my book, Designated, about two warring alien races fighting over a newly discovered power source. The war finds its way to planet Earth, and as a result, some humans gain abilities. Issue 1 is on sale right now. All right, so usually we start off with the sad news, but there is no sad news for this week's show, so we're just going to go with the regular news. So let's see what we have here. From the That's a Lot of Nuts department.
That's a lot of nuts.
The new Conjuring sequel has taken the #1 spot in the domestic box office, pulling in $84 million in ticket sales in its first week release, beating out the re-release of the Broadway play Hamilton with the original cast. It came in at the second spot, making an additional $10.1 million. For those of you keeping track, the Minecraft movie is still the highest grossing film of this year with $423.9 million, followed by the live action film Lilo and Stitch with $423.6 million. Since you're a horror guy, have you seen The Conjuring, John?
Not yet. I was going to see it tomorrow night.
You're legally bound, so you should have already seen it. It's supposed to be opening day.
Nah, I'm a busy man. Tomorrow night's to go. I can't.
Did you see the others?
The other
Conjuring?
Yeah, I like them. I like the first one a lot better than the rest of them, but they're good movies.
What did they conjure up in you?
First one, a lot of dread. Second one, a little bit of boredom. Third one, annoyance because the person in front of me was constantly looking at their phone and
So dread, boredom, and annoyance. Those are three things I'm trying to avoid in life. But you're willingly going to see this again?
Yeah.
You can give it another try, maybe hoping for more dread?
I'm a glutton for punishment.
Wow.
So have you seen?
No.
Well, you've seen.
No, I boycott.
You act like you've never seen
You
it.
don't know this. I boycott horror movies. I make them, but it's different. In 2007, because Hostel 2 almost ruined my life, and I knew I was going to have to break up with my boyfriend at the time. It was like my husband, and I was like, I'm going to have to always have a husband for the rest of my life because scary movies stick with me, and they scare me, so I don't watch scary movies, because then I'll have to have someone live with me, and I don't want to have that. Should be a choice, not a mandate.
Having him live with you
Or
was like,
bodyguard.
having him live with you was like Hostel? Is that what you're
No,
trying to say? No,
Hostel was so scary that I was scared of for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Terrified.
All right.
That I was like, I'm gonna have to have a roommate for the rest of my life if I keep
Gotcha,
subjecting
okay.
myself to this type of, brain rot. You know.
Charlie, did you see?
I'm
No.
so glad you asked. No, but I have to say this. This warms the cockles of my heart that a horror movie is making this much money because we very rarely have the good horror movies anymore. The Conjuring franchise is a good horror thing. You get these slasher films. They're not horror. I don't know if you agree with me, but slasher and blooding, to me, it's not horror. It's the same old, let's see who can outdo anybody. Let's see who can take a head off better than the one. So, to me, a real good horror movie, like The Conjuring, is, I'm glad to hear it. And a good horror movie is the kind of horror movie that you're watching and you go, whoa, you get up and you turn the lights on. That's a good horror movie.
Right.
Did you see Sinners?
Sinners is an
Such a
excellent
backlog.
movie.
Okay.
Sinners is an excellent movie.
Yeah.
To be honest, if there's not any even talk of nominations come award season for that movie, it's a crying shame because it's a really good movie. And also Weapons.
Right.
Weapons is a ridiculously good movie.
What did
It's-
you like about Weapons?
Well, I went in to see it blind. I knew nothing about it, which is the best way to see it. And when the twist comes, you just sat there and like, me and my daughter saw it together, and 3 times in the movie we just turned and looked at each other like, WTF? Like, did that just happen? Like, yeah, it's such a good movie.
Oh, okay.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. Okay.
Perfect for this time of year too.
And the other one is The Long Walk,
The Long Walk that comes out this
based
week.
on Stephen King.
Yep.
Oh.
One of his
Supposed to be
more,
another
one of his
very, very
more
good one.
under-read books, but it's a good book. So, yeah.
So speaking of movies,
Are
from the at least it's not Movie Pass department.
Okay.
None other than AMC Theaters has announced a new 3-month horror-themed program called the Slash Pass, where moviegoers can see 6 horror movies from now until the end of the year for just $66.66. Passes can be mix and match, so you can use them at any time, bring friends, or see them once at a time per date. AMC says, we're excited to kick off the Halloween season with this new offering of horror fans, celebrating a fall lineup of highly anticipated, newly released, as well as iconic classics that's launched some of the most memorable franchises in horror history. Horror has quickly become one of the most popular genres, especially among Gen Z audiences who know that horror movies are best enjoyed in the comfortable, communal environment of our theaters. Online convenient fees may apply depending on the method of redemption, as well as AMC Stubs membership pass. So that's basically $11.11 per
Right,
ticket.
right.
I remember when tickets were less than $10 normally, because I used to
Right,
work at a movie theater, I've
right.
mentioned it many times. So what are your thoughts on is this a good idea? 6 movies, $66.66. We've always talked about trying to
Yeah.
bring people back to the theater.
Right. I,
Jen?
mean, I think it's a great idea. I'm against drug use. Massages are great. Those are always my ideas of getting people back to the theater. Just make it a drug dealing place or a massage factory. But here's my where I think this could go wrong. Right.
Okay.
A lot of movies that people see as the best movies, I see as horror movies, like Titanic.
Right.
So then you have someone coming in and be like, you know what? To me, this is a horror movie. So then they're going to try to get that 6 horror movies for $66. And you're just going to, well, this movie identifies as horror to me because it's 2025 and you can identify as anything, correct?
Yes.
So what's going to be horror?
So speaking as a person who used to work in a movie theater,
Yeah.
and I have dealt with customers with that
Yeah, see?
intention in mind,
Right.
I would be, the movie is classified by what the studios
Okay.
declare as a horror
Right.
movie, so we're just the middleman, we just show the movie.
Okay.
If Avengers counts as a horror movie to some people, but the studio says it's not,
Right.
not a horror movie.
Okay, so you check under the hood, you ask the studio.
Yes, ask the
Okay.
studio.
All right.
Charlie, what do you think?
All I know is that 66 cents is going to kill me. I'm telling you that right away. No, I think it's a good idea. I mean, they're doing that with everything. They do it with car washes now. You know, you buy a pass now. You're like, oh, spend $25. You could get your car washed 3 times. Why not?
But the thing is, as we've mentioned with MoviePass, if you remember, that it's an unsustainable business model.
Right.
If you're only charging $11 a ticket, you're not really making money for the theater. I mean, maybe they'll bring more people in, and as we've said many times, the movie theaters do not make money on the ticket sales, they make money on the concessions.
Right.
So,
So they're getting you in,
I know.
and these people are going to buy concessions. So
in theory,
in the theater, yeah.
not in the theater,
So
in
you-
theory.
So anyway, listen to me. It's about time. It's about time we pay less for anything. Did you ever go to a baseball game?
I used to go as a kid.
All right, not anymore.
But
Because
also-
you have to pay your firstborn male child to park, and then it's like, so at least they're doing something for us.
And MoviePass
That's
was,
what I don't
was
want
ongoing.
to say.
MoviePass
This is
was
just
on.
isolated.
This is
So
just
all
for
you gotta do
6
is get them in, get
3
them
months.
addicted to Diet Coke. Because I saw 2 people this week so addicted to Diet Coke, they were like practically itching and asking people on set to go pick them up Diet Coke. So if you get them addicted to getting that Diet Coke in the fountain, I know I was addicted before, then maybe they'll keep coming back to the theater just with the Diet Coke.
We used to have a lady used to come every week just for the popcorn. She didn't see a movie. She used to come and buy the popcorn and leave.
No.
It's the craziest thing. She'd like pay
get
like
it.
$30 for a bag of popcorn and didn't even see the movie. But
Wow.
every week she was there. It was crazy.
Once a week.
Once a week she was
That's like a
there.
weekly treat.
Yeah, it was crazy. Blew my mind. John, what do you think about the bringing movie people back to theaters?
Well, I always like going to movies, even though
Even though you're
even though
pissed.
human beings annoy me at times.
Ah.
But I hope that they mix and match and maybe put a few classics in with those 6 movies, because
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like seeing The Exorcist on the big screen. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like seeing Jaws, which we saw in the theaters a couple of weeks ago on the big screen. It's just a totally different dimension. So I'm always about people appreciating the art, and you know, it's especially horror. It's so a lot of times it's so overlooked because people immediately assume it's just a Friday the 13th part, 12 or whatever. But there's a lot of nuance that people don't get to see, and when you see it in the theater, it's just you just wrap your head around a different dimension of it,
Yeah.
and you just see things that you just wouldn't notice, even if it's a movie you saw before. I saw Alien in the theater. I've seen Alien maybe probably 50 times, but I saw it in the theater 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my God, I never noticed that. And I have the ultimate Blu-ray, blah, blah, blah. But the moment you see it in the theaters, it's just a totally
Yeah.
different experience. I would love to go to see a movie in the Sphere in Vegas. They just did The Wizard of Oz. I'm just like, that would have been so cool.
Oh, interesting.
But
Yeah, this is exactly what I say about movies that we're bombarded with, that now we sit there and watch and go, this is crazy, like the Universals, Frankenstein. And I always say, could you imagine sitting in that theater for the first time and watching these movies? It's a whole nother ball game. You gotta imagine yourself back then. And the movies now are classics, but you could sit and watch one.
Oh, absolutely.
But to be the first, be in that theater in 1939 and see Boris Karloff come off that table, that's a horror movie.
I took my daughter about 10 years ago to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I was going to go see it. It was playing in Huntington. And she's like, can I go? And I'm thinking about, yeah, you're 13, sure, you can come with me. And we're sitting there watching this movie. We're sitting there watching this movie. And the movie's going, and if you ever saw the movie, there's a part where it's a very slow beginning, and all of a sudden it just kicks in. And there's a part where one of the main characters gets killed by Leatherface, and his girlfriend decides to walk into the house, and all of a sudden my daughter, who's a tiny little thing, she goes, "No, you dumb bimbo, don't go in there." And I'm like, I got her. She's all, and now she's my horror movie buddy, but it was such an appreciation when she watched it years later on Blu-ray. She's like, yeah, it was good, but just I didn't have that feeling I had when I saw it on a big screen.
Yeah.
So I hope this works well for them. And movie theaters for the most part are safe places to go to. So get out, be safe, and enjoy a good horror film.
So, speaking of movies, moving on. From the Let's George Lucas It department, none other than an AI company called Showrunner, financially backed by Amazon, has announced that they are setting out to, quote, create a facsimile of the footage and restore the film, unquote, of a lost 1942 Orson Welles film titled The Magnificent Ambersons. For those of you who don't know, or care for that matter, RKO, the film company, had destroyed 43 minutes of the film to be used for the ongoing war effort at the time. Film made during that time contained a chemical that could be used to make bombs, not just box office ones. What's interesting to note is that once the 2-year process is completed, the intention is not to be commercialized, as the original film's rights are owned by Warner Bros. Executives say, if they see a marketplace for it, then the path of it outside academic context, then of course they have ownership of it. The goal isn't to commercialize the 43 minutes, but to see them exist in a world after 80 years of people asking, might this have been the best film ever made in its original form? The company will utilize AI and traditional filmmaking techniques, including shooting sequences with live actors, using VFX transfer techniques with AI tools to preserve the original actors' likenesses, and the project will also rely on early script drafts and archived set photos as a foundation. So basically they're taking a movie that only has parts of it and using AI to fill in the middle and make a quote-unquote restoration of a movie that no longer exists. Now, this is done by AI, and we've always had a thing about AI, and I can say that there was a movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, which was Dirty Work by Norm Macdonald. That movie came out, and it was a PG-13 movie, but apparently it was filmed as an R-rated movie, and this company went and found the original work prints and restored the movie using original footage to the R-rated version. So you can go online right now and buy the R-rated Dirty Work version as it was originally intended, because they had the film there. So this was a person doing it, and they did it, and they're selling it as a thing. But now we have a company using AI for just educational purposes. What are your thoughts on that, Charlie?
Oh, you know I'm a big fan of AI, don't you? I don't like, no matter how it benefits, I'm going to go on the record now, no matter how it benefits us, AI will kill us. It's a dangerous thing. It's, I hear things that are driving me crazy now. AI is not a good thing. I mean, I love the Beatles, and now and then, if it wasn't for AI, you wouldn't hear John Lennon's voice. But, I mean, I don't care. I mean, I think that's my thoughts. AI, you can't talk to me about AI. Watch Forbin. Watch Colossus, the Forbin Project. It was made in 1970. Watch that and then talk to me about AI.
Now, Jen, we've actually talked to you about how you would use AI in certain circumstances where instead of for changing a line of dialogue or something like that because it's cheaper, right? As opposed to bringing everybody back into play. But this is restoring a empty movie. So what are your thoughts on that? If you made a movie and you made a movie, you make movies all the time,
right? And
you somehow lost 40% of
well,
your
movie. If I had to give the film away so it could be used as a bomb, which is what happened. What? I didn't know films could be used to make bombs. I mean, that's the story here.
So you lose your movie. Part of it. What do you think about somebody using AI to recreate that movie?
I don't know. It depends where I am, as a ghost. It depends. It's just something different. It'd be someone taking my stuff and then adapting it. And as long as it's clear, they don't put my name and, they give me some credit for what I did. But hey, if you're going to take a song and then make a remix, that's on you, babe. You want to make a remix of a song I do. Cool. I don't care if it's great or bad or whatever. It's something new. But as far as AI, bad or good morality thing, it's how you use it. For example, a film I'm producing. The actor had 2 pages left. It's a 2-year production. He refused to show up to set. I drove an hour. I did 2 hours of makeup. We got 4 people on set. And my gut feeling was, this guy, he said, he's not coming. I was told, clean up. He's not coming. All of us are out. We drove out to the country. Now we can't finish the movie. 2 pages. The guy's not showing up. So instead of showing up at the hospital where he was getting hip replacement months later, which I wanted to do, and be like, here, do your line, kid, I would just take
some AI.
AI, and then maybe do that. But instead we rewrote the thing because we're not going to use AI, and we're just screw it, we're just going to rewrite it. And the next day he said, I'm not coming back. So for someone like that who's just gonna screw you over, yeah, let's AI the guy because he's worthless as a human being. So I don't know, he's worthless for those 2 pages. Okay, there we go.
What do you think, John?
Well, I'm very much anti-AI because it steals. I'm not
Right.
pay the artist, pay the writer, pay everybody. But I also, art to me is human interaction, whether it's perfect or not. Once you start really having computers generate it, the human interaction's gone. But I also like the idea of lost films. Why does everything have to be found? There's this there's this Lon Chaney film called London After Midnight. It was an MGM film that got destroyed in an MGM vault fire. It's the only one they never recovered. The only cut is 10 minutes long and a lot of stills. If you go on YouTube, you can actually watch someone assemble all those stills to make it to a 20-minute film. But the mystery behind that film is just so more fascinating than probably the film actually is. I think we need more mystery in the world. I think I don't want answers to everything. But using AI, I just have a serious problem with that. I know they use it a lot, like the last Alien movie. They recreated Ian Holm's character through AI, and they got permission from his family, and the family's getting paid and all that. But still, it's just do something different. You know, we lived with 7 different James Bonds. We can live with someone else playing a robot for 10 minutes of the movie. So, but I'm very much anti-AI, especially because they constantly they're feeding all our information and using it, and you're not getting paid for it. There's a big copyright lawsuit right now with writers, and it's based because they were basically feeding ebooks into this AI server to teach people how to write like Stephen King and stuff like that. And now they're paying authors, if they have the copyright certificates, $5,000 a book. I know someone who's getting like $25,000 for books that he wrote 15 years ago, but they just took it without his permission, and that pay the artist. That's where I stand on it.
Yeah,
So,
respect.
speaking of AI, from the It Was Only a Matter of Time follow-up department. On a recent episode of our show, we reported on how both Disney and Universal was suing the AI company Midjourney over copyright infringement. Now, none other than Warner Brothers has also filed a separate suit for the same reasons. Lawyer says, you want to read that?
Midjourney thinks it is above the law. The service lets subscribers pick iconic Warner Brothers Discovery copyrighted characters and then reproduces, publicly displays and performs, and makes available for download infringing images and videos, with every imaginable scene featuring those characters. Without any consent or authorization by Warner Brothers Discovery, Midjourney brazenly dispenses Warner Brothers Discovery's intellectual property as if it were its own.
So Warner Bros. Is seeking $150,000 per damages per each infringed work. Midjourney says,
Whoa. Copyright law does not confer absolute control over the use of copyrighted works. The limited monopoly granted by copyright must give way to fair use, which safeguards countervailing public interest in the free flow of ideas and information. Plaintiffs cannot have it both ways, seeking to profit through their use of Midjourney and other generative AI tools from industry standard AI training practices on the one hand, while on the other hand, accusing Midjourney of wrongdoing for the same.
so they're trying to basically bankrupt the company, because if it's $150,000 per each use, and the uses are in the hundreds of thousands, that's what they're going for.
Wow.
I think it's crazy that it took so long for them to do it. I'm surprised that they weren't like on the forefront of suing these guys right off the bat. I also think that in addition to, as they say, you know, they want the companies to have it both ways, because the companies are using AI, the Disney and Universal, whatever. But I think that they're suing to find out the behind the scenes of how the AI works, so they can use it for their own purposes. That's my thought.
That's Disney.
Yeah.
That's so Disney.
But I also think that, you know, Disney is, just for the sake of argument, Mickey Mouse, and they decided to do some AI with Mickey Mouse. They own Mickey Mouse.
Right.
It's their property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's when you're using it for somebody else, like the Boris Karloff Frankenstein monster makeup. It's still copyrighted by Universal. So anyone any rubber mask you see in a Spirit Halloween shop, Universal got to cut it.
Right.
Which is why you copyright things.
Right.
If you create something, those are the only ethical millionaires and billionaires out there. So I'll never give like someone like Taylor Swift a lot of crap because she's profiting off her music. She created it. That's why you need the copyrights, and when it's violated, it's a slippery slope as using AI for like military operations. Once again, humans need to be involved. And the moment you let computers run it, well, hey, we all saw Terminator. We know how that ended. So I think I hope that Warner Brothers buries them, to be quite honest. That's my personal opinion.
Do you think they're going to win?
I think they'll settle.
I think they'll settle.
I think AI is the modern day Ouija board. It's going to help us until it goes in for the kill and kills us all.
Wait.
Have a nice day, everyone.
How have Ouija boards helped you?
They don't, but that's the no.
You said they're gonna help you like a Ouija board.
I wouldn't have a Ouija board in my house
Okay.
because the theory is
Yeah.
that they're supposed to, right? You in the horror movies,
Yeah.
they're supposed to help you, and then you get used to it. You keep going back,
okay.
and all of a sudden the demon settles in.
Oh,
You
I
don't
didn't
watch
know about
that. You wouldn't
no,
watch
I've never
that
heard about
because-
help, and then switch. I thought it was just
Yeah.
scary.
Well, help me find my keys.
No, it helps you. Like, where did I leave that bracelet?
Oh.
Under the bed.
Who knew?
You know, and then
It's like a Roomba.
yeah.
Okay, all right. I had no
No,
idea.
but
should never.
understandable. You wouldn't watch that movie
Right.
because it's.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the theory.
Moving on.
Whatever.
Moving on to the last bit of news. From the at least it won't be as bad as Jake Paul department. Not so hot off of his fight
Oh,
against
God.
YouTuber Jake Paul. None other than Mike Tyson has announced that he will have another exhibition match
boy.
against Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
As of this recording, only a spring of 2026 date has been announced. For those of you who don't know or care for that matter, Tyson is currently 59, Mayweather is 48,
Right.
and Mayweather actually fought Jake's brother, another YouTuber, now professional wrestler, Logan Paul, in 2021, with no winner decided as it was an exhibition fight. Now, Jen, I know you're a huge Mike Tyson fan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about Tyson going in again? And I do have to say that there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that no one really knew until after the fight came out that Mike Tyson had with Jake Paul, that
Right.
he wasn't allowed to use certain combinations. He wasn't allowed to use an uppercut.
If anyone
He-
gets knocked out,
if-
it's disqualified. They
if-
don't get paid. I
Right.
think.
Mike Tyson got paid more money the longer he stayed in the fight.
Right.
All these things were on the contract that they didn't discuss until after the fight
It's not a
happened.
fight.
And Mike Tyson said it himself, if I remember correctly, he was like, hey, I got paid, and he was fine
Well,
with it. So you're
well,
a Mike Tyson fan. What are
Here's
your
the,
thoughts?
He wasn't
there's
allowed
the
to buy
semantics.
years
It says
off
an
the-
exhibition fight.
It's an
not a street
exhibition.
fight.
Right.
It's not a you're gonna die fight.
Right.
It's an exhibition. So if you're doing an exhibition, I guess I could exhibit whatever I want. So if he wants to exhibit his butt cheeks live on pay-per-view, which I saw, and maybe other people saw,
I saw it also.
then maybe
that.
that's part of the exhibition. Maybe fighting has nothing to do with it because it's an exhibition. And also, he has children. He has a wife. You know what? I don't have children, but if I was a mother or a father, I would hope that the same thing I wish for everyone else who has children. Respect to every good parent out there. Listen, you have to give your kids money. If your kids need money to live, so if he can make millions and millions of dollars and give it to his family, go Mike. That's it. Support your family. If he did not have children, then okay, I have more to say.
How old has Tyson?
59. Tyson is 59.
If Tyson was 99, I wouldn't want to get hit by him.
Right.
At 99.
Right.
So, I mean, he's going to...
Did you see the last fight? Well, I use the fight very
Yes.
very loosely.
No, the last
Did you
fight
see
was...
it?
The last fight was Ted. You're in.
And the
Okay.
one before that
Yeah.
with Roy Jones.
Yeah.
Well, again,
that was a joke.
exhibition.
Exactly. So let's just not call it a fight anymore. It's ridiculous.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw that atrocity. The one thing I will say about that though is the fighters on the undercard was the biggest paydays they ever got, and so for that I mean there was a women's match that was
Yeah.
ridiculous. That
Brutal.
should have been the main event, and they both made like 3 years worth of salary from this fight.
Really?
Yeah.
So I mean, at least the Paul brothers take care of the people. not just themselves, they take care of the people on the card.
The two females actually headlined the Madison Square Garden fight
Oh, really?
like a month and a half ago,
Okay.
2 months ago.
The
Yeah,
same
right.
ones?
The two of them, because there was a rematch, and they brought it
Like
back.
the Russian white girl
And
who's
the,
headbutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
They had
should
a-
be that girl.
they had a fight.
That should be in trouble.
But
That
I mean,
is
so
not fair.
I can appreciate, you know, because boxing or MMA, it's such a, you know, either you're top tier pay or you're basically working in a deli as you're fighting.
Pretty much.
So I'm glad at least those people are getting paid.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
Jake Paul, you know,
So you think that it's good for everybody else involved? It raises up the sport,
That's true.
whether the fight or not is
if
going to be an
you
actual
don't know
fight.
that Jake Paul fight or even a Logan Paul fight, or he doesn't fight anymore. If you don't think that there's something hinky going on,
Right.
I have a bridge to sell you.
It was a wrestling show.
Yeah.
The way he entered was WWE.
Exactly, and it's just.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
The people put so much emphasis in sports, but they keep forgetting one thing: it's entertainment.
Right.
In the end, I'm a huge hockey fan. If the Islanders somehow won the cup this year, they're not gonna. But if they somehow did, I'm like, yeah, they won. Oh
Right.
no, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah,
So I
it's
mean,
not real.
it's entertainment.
Yeah, you know what is real?
What is real?
Is going to a rally of Charlie Kirk, who just got assassinated.
Yeah, I heard about
And if
that.
you're
It's crazy.
he's pretty far right. He believes in God and Jesus, and I guess someone somewhere didn't like him, and that was a real fight. He got shot. That was real. So if you want real,
I
just
sort
step
of-
outside your door.
I
you know?
listened to all those Charlie Kirk things.
Yeah.
And I couldn't
wild.
believe that when I saw it.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh no, I believe it, but
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that people are
Oh no,
they
I
just.
felt this.
I grew up in America. I grew up in an America where you were a Democrat or Republican,
Right.
and you would talk to each other.
Right.
You disagree,
Right.
and that was good. You were still friends.
Yep.
Now, if you don't agree with me, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with me,
Evil.
that's not
We're
the
evil.
America I grew up in.
No.
And when I see stuff like this, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
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 So that's it for the news. So we're going to take a quick break in front of our live studio audience.
Guys, thank you guys.
We'll be back with more. It came on the radio.
Hey everybody, this is Todd McFarlane of the record-setting Spawn comic series. And if you're looking for any kind of cool conversation about creators, about entertainment, about all that good stuff, you go to It Came From The Radio. You're listening to the right spot.
This is Quentin Flynn, a popular voice actor known for Axel, Timon, and Raiden from the Metal Gear series. And you're listening to It Came From The Radio. Stick around.
Hey, I'm Mike Kingston, the writer and creator of Headlocked.
And I am WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler, and guess what you're listening to? You're listening to It Came From The Radio!
Hi, this is Amy Jo Johnson, writer-director from the film The Space Between, and you're listening to It Came From The Radio.
Whatever people want to pay me to do.
Meet Grimlock having fun on It Came From The Radio! Meet Greg Berger also.
Now, back to our show.
And welcome back to It Came From The Radio, the official Epic Applicon. This is your host, Mark Torres, speaking in front of a live studio audience. At the East Meadow Public Library for our 96th live show. I'm here with our senior correspondent, Charlie Saladino.
Hi.
Here with Man Jenny Feldy.
Hi.
And we're here with our special guest who we're going to be talking to with and about Mr. John Collins.
Hello.
Also, I want to mention that on Sunday, the 14th, I will be a guest on Indie Comic Explained at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on their YouTube channel. I will also be on the Comic Book Club YouTube channel on 9:20 Tuesday the 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Make sure you guys go check that out. Also, I want to mention that the East Meadow Public Library have tons and tons of stuff, most of which is free, tons of programming. Make sure you guys go to the library, go check it out, go support them, and that's www.eastmeadow.info. Now, John, you're not Joan
No.
Collins.
No.
Have you ever got that before?
No, I've gotten the Tom Collins jokes and oh, your Uncle Tom, yeah.
Oh.
So we've never met before,
No, we haven't.
but you have this amazing book. You were kind enough to let my two co-hosts get a little advanced copy because I knew I wasn't going to be able to read it. So why don't you just tell us quickly a little bit about yourself, a little about the book, and then I'll let them ask the questions.
Okay. My name is John Collins. I grew up on Long Island in Sayville, Long Island. I grew up on a steady diet of trashy cinema, heavy metal and lots of fiction. The story that set me off and got me going was Yours Truly, Jack the Ripper by Robert Bloch. I read that when I was 8, and I read it 5 times in a weekend, which for an 8-year-old is pretty good considering an 8-year-old attention span. But and ever since then, I'm a horror fanatic. Comics, movies, obviously books. If it's something that would got me canceled, I'm into it. So thumbs up for that. But this is my first book. I have stories in several anthologies, but this is my first solo outing, and I'm very proud of it.
The line that got me with this book, which could be the promo for the whole book, is the line where you say, and I'm going to try to remember it, so correct me if I'm wrong, anyone can conjure up a demon from hell, but to pull the reins on a demon that's loose is a whole nother story.
I'm just going to read that.
Yeah.
It's bringing a demon up from hell is one thing. Trying to rein in one already loose in the world, that's another thing altogether. Same question.
Yeah.
Wow.
And believe me, that's what, you read that, you're lucky you put that right there. You want to stay with this for the rest of it.
Well, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. This came together. It was I wrote this 3 times, 3 separate stories, and this is the final, obviously the final draft of it. But the first one was about, I'd say 20,000 words longer, so another 75 to 80 pages, and it was just a convoluted mess. So I had to strip it down and really just go back to basics and just a straight linear story. But I'm a big fan of atmosphere, and it was very important that for me that it was atmospheric, and people could feel themselves immersed into the story. So, I've gotten comments about that. I got comments about one other line which I won't bring up. But, okay. There's a line in there where one character says to another, sometimes when you pray to a God, it's not always the God you want that answers.
Right.
And that actually made my my religious cousin pray, which was like, yes, I did it.
Right.
So it's so far it's been, people have responded to it and responded to the parts I want them to. That's even more. No one ever told me, oh, it's really funny, because it's not meant to be funny. So I think I'm 75% happy with it. I'll always find little things I'll never be happy with, but that's just me.
I have multiple questions. I'm coming back to that prayer to God. How do you create atmosphere? Like, what are some tips for other writers to do that? How do you do it?
Atmosphere to me is noticing the details. Noticing the details of your surroundings and the details of the people you're around. Like the person who has a nervous tick and keeps tapping the table. Atmosphere to me, I love old Gothic movies. I love crumbling castles. I love fog covered moors. In my bio, I always say my bio always seems to say this one thing: I am convinced that every abandoned house is haunted, and I try to convince my wife that they're haunted, and she just rolls her eyes and like, yeah, okay. But atmosphere to me, if you can somehow convey, not that a person has goose flesh, but the goose flesh maybe is buried under a sheen of sweat. There's the hair, this tiny hairs in your arms stick a little. Anyone could just say, "Oh, he ran with goose flesh." It's that few extra words that make it atmospheric. So anyone could say, "Oh, the parking lot was filled with fog." Yeah, but what did the fog smell like? Is it so thick that you can't see your hand in front of your face? That's what makes atmosphere work for me.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other writers who do fantastic jobs of atmosphere and they do it in such economic an economic amount of words, but I'm not at that level yet. Hopefully one day I will be.
Maybe you have some readers that don't want you to be like that.
Possibly.
Like
Possibly.
sometimes people say, "Oh, it's a long story," but it's like, I have 20 hours with you on set. Please make it long. Like, I want the details. Some people might want that.
Yeah, I think I don't think audience, I mean, that to me is a question of an audience.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just build your own audience and people are willing to go for a ride. Like, one of my favorite short story writers is Clive Barker.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand why some people don't read him. He writes very purple prose, very, very elegant, like everything smells like lilacs and lavender. And I can understand, and also very sexual and very graphic violence and a sexual nature. I can understand why people wouldn't read them. But the people that read them and love them stick with them. So I think what is the job as a writer is to find your style and find the people who are going to register with it. And so far, people have been registering with this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have a millionth of Clive Barker's readership. Cross fingers. But I think if you can do that, your audience will at least know you're being as truthful with them as you possibly can be. And I think being truthful to your audience is the most important thing, no matter what you're writing.
John, I admire writers and artists, and I always ask this question because it amazes me that you're so creative. And what is the point? When is that point where you're sitting down, you're doing something, you're with your family, and all of a sudden you stop and this vision comes into your head? What was the inspiration, and then how did you feel when it was done and you was like, yeah, that's it? So what was the inspiration? And
the inspiration for this, you wouldn't know this because you're much younger. Maybe you've seen some of the YouTube clips. You would know this. Remember In Search of with Leonard Nimoy?
Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, it was a show in the late 70s, early 80s where Leonard Nimoy, Dr. Spock, would the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. And the Bigfoot one really got me. And when you start reading about that, you start reading about other, I'll say urban legends, but it's not, other tales of other creatures. And what drew me in was the Jersey Devil, this ridiculous story.
Yeah.
This ridiculous story about a winged horse thing that floats around the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. They named the Jersey hockey team after the Jersey Devil. And as ridiculous as that story is, let's be honest, it's fascinating. And I'm a very nostalgic person. I don't forget that. Anything that I remember will never make me money. If you ask me a trivia question, yeah, I know who played the killer in this movie, blah, blah. I'll never make money. I'll never remember stock tips, but I'll remember that stuff. The Jersey Devil was always something I was kind of, okay, yeah. I just something I never forgot about. And I remember when I started thinking about this because I was knee deep in writing short stories, and I wanted to do something longer, and I just didn't know what to do. And we were home, and we were watching video. I was watching videos on YouTube of animal videos, and a horse kicked some guy. The guy just branded the horse, but they didn't restrain the leg, and he kicked him. The guy went flying. And of course, I chuckled.
Good for him.
I'm pro horse. But then I started thinking. All of a sudden, started thinking about the Jersey Devil for some reason. I'm like, oh, the horse thing that flipped. Okay. And then the story just started working its way out because I like reading about the occult. I like reading about lost places. I like folklore, and it just started coming together. And like I said, this is the third incarnation of the story, but it was always set in a carnival. And it took a lot of fine tuning to get to that point, but it was fun. I had a blast. This was one of the best time I ever spent, just on my own, just writing this and just coming up with scenarios like, that's too over the top, oh, that's too lame, and just keep going back and forth with that. And it worked for me, and it worked for our publisher, so I guess I had something.
Well, page 1, you mentioned a demon. So do you believe that there are things that, well, first of all, do you believe in demons? And second of all, if you do or don't, we'll go from there. What behaviors or things that you do will conjure demons?
Well, don't try this at home, kids. I think we're kind of foolish not to believe that anything beyond what we know is reality. And to an extent, I don't want to sound too absurd here, but it's like I kind of take the same idea towards like alien life. You know, it's like, how arrogant are we to think that we're the only thing in the universe? So how is there something that's not in our realm of existence? I mean, if you believe in God, if you're a religious person, you believe in God. God believe in the devil. You have to. I mean, you can't have one without the other. As far as conjuring, I made most of it up. I'll be honest. I picked up a book on demonology, and it was just so dense. It was so boring, to be quite honest. The only thing I really kept from that was this one book. I can't remember the name of it, to be honest with you. Would talk about preparation for a conjuring. And it could be a simple prayer with some gestures, or it could be 6 months of intense isolation. And I'm like, okay, that's the only thing I took from it. Everything else I kind of made up, which fiction. Yeah.
No, I remember that line in the book. It was great, and you're absolutely right. If you do believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. The devil was an angel, and God gave him the big "take it easy, get out of here." You know, so so I agree with you there.
So you've mentioned that when you're getting feedback, that you get excited that people are receiving the parts that you want to be received. When you set out to do this, what was your goal? Was it to scare the bejeebus out of them? Was it to make them entertained? What was the original goal?
Both of those. I got a compliment on one short story I wrote where another writer said that she gave it to a friend of hers and he had nightmares from it. I was like, yes, that's awesome. I was so happy about that. But to be honest, I just want people to be entertained. I mean, in the end, I may go dark, and in this one I went dark in a few places. I want people to be entertained. There's so much seriousness in the world, and rightfully so in a lot of things, of course. I'm not going to say there shouldn't be. But you should be able to open a book or put on a movie or whatever, video game, whatever, and enjoy yourself for the time you have with it. I mean, if you're not doing that, then what are we doing? I mean, seriously. I mean, some people, I'm not a baseball guy, but if your thing is going to see the Long Island Ducks play, knock yourself out. Have a great time. Not everything has to be ruined by the actions in the world, the actions of others in the world at large. It's depressing enough. You should be able. I mean, I give my wife crap all the time about the TV show she watches.
What does she watch?
I'll leave her to. We'll leave her alone. But it's just not my thing. But in the end, I mean, it's all a teasing matter. But she should be able to sit there and watch 2 hours of whatever she's watching without me being a complete jerk about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's for everybody. I think, coming into a library, someone should be able to sit down and read whatever. If you want to read John Grisham, knock yourself out. I mean, I personally wouldn't, but that's beside the point. I think that was my main intention, is people to have fun with it. And so far, the people who have commented to me about it have had fun with it, which makes me very happy.
So when you say you've gone dark, is there a line that you had in your mind when you were writing down, this is too far, or I'm going to go up to see how far I can go and go a little bit back, or I'm just going to go over it? Was that your thought process?
I went as far as I thought the story demanded it should go. There's a subgenre of horror called extreme horror, which, to be honest, is not particularly good. It's popular among its fans, but his fans are a small amount, and it's basically gross out contests on the page. And yeah, it takes something to be able to write a convincingly violent or gruesome scene. All that stuff doesn't mean anything if what's leading up to it doesn't engage you. Other than that, I mean, if you want to see gore, go to a butcher shop. There's meat right there for you. But if you need to be invested for it to be dark, and you need that emotional connection with it.
Right.
There's like this unwritten rule among writers: don't kill kids and don't kill animals. And I don't understand that, because I'm not killing real kids.
Right.
I'm not killing real animals.
Right.
My dog's fine. My dog's living a better life than all of us put together.
Right.
Quite honest.
It's fake.
So I think with this, I knew how far I wanted to go, and some spots I went far. I won't lie, I went far, but I think it's justified in the story itself. If it wasn't justified, I don't think I would have kept it in. Luckily, I had some great beta readers. Beta readers read drafts and give their thoughts about it. I had some great beta readers, and they were all like, "No, this goes as far as it should." And I'm, okay, good, because the one thing I don't want to do is offend. I don't want to offend anybody. I want you to be able to check out and enjoy yourself and go, "Hey, that was fun," and go about your life. But if someone that turned around and said, "Oh, I'll never read anything from you again," how could you do that? That would bother me. That would bother me. Although I have to be honest, the thing I'm working on now, it's going to be offensive to some people. I'll be honest.
Like how?
Do you hurt any dogs?
What's that?
Do you hurt any dogs in it?
I'm hurting everything in it.
Oh my God, I can't watch
No,
it.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm a big fan of European trash cinema. I like Italian horror films. I like the Spanish exploitation films. I enjoy that stuff. And the stuff that was most very effective, I tried their fiction. Translation doesn't really go that well. But I tried those things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan of those things. So I tried this new thing I'm working on now. Has a lot of that influence in there, and I'm sure it's going to be bound to bother somebody.
The first line, page 1, the secret to a successful summoning ritual is desire. I actually have a lot of very interesting experiences where I'll text, I wish this would happen, and like within the hour that happened, or I really want a role to play like a child. So, but Martin Short plays a kid in Clifford. He's like 40 something or 50. He played, right. So someone sent me this. I'm like, I gotta play a kid. Within an hour or two, someone sends me a script to play a high schooler. I'm 41. So I'm wondering, I can go on. I have so many examples of this that are like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I wish for this and I get it. Do you believe in summonings? Do you believe you can wish for things and get them?
I won't discount it. I've never tried to. I personally never tried to, but I won't discount it. I mean, like I said, it's a larger world than our world. Even no matter how well traveled a person is, they don't see everything. And so, I have a coworker who's born in Haiti, and he tells me flat out they all believe in voodoo.
Right.
And who am I to disagree with him? Catholics believe bread and wine turn into blood and body. So who am I to knock it? I have several friends who are card carrying Satanists.
Right.
Most of them are aggressively atheists. That's what a Satanist in their definitions. But I have 2 friends who are Luciferian Satanists, and they believe in the devil. And it's just like, okay, all right. Enough so that when I say, hey, let me go to one of your services, nope, you don't believe it, so you're not welcome.
Oh, really?
Okay.
What if you believe it? You're welcome?
And I think it's a little more me just saying I believe in it. But I think it's kind of, it almost seems like a gang, like if there's initiations, and but I don't discard. Well, like I said, I also like. I just enjoy the visual aspect of it. Like one of the coolest places I've ever been to is the St. Anne Temple in Salem, which is more or less an art gallery.
I love Salem.
Yeah, it's,
I love
they
Salem.
have this 2-ton statue of Baphomet. Actually, I was going to use it for my author photo. And when they brought me in, like they had in this shed with this whole shrine and all that, and they're talking. We were talking the whole time. They're like, "Oh, are you saying this?" I'm like, "No, I'm Lutheran actually. But here I am." And when we went in there, like, "Do you need some time alone with Baphomet?" I'm like, "Nah, we're good."
Wow.
But some people, I'm like, some people are like that. Like, "Oh yeah, see, we've seen some strange things in this place."
Yeah, okay.
But I like the, like one of my favorite movies is a movie called The Devil Rides Out with Christopher Lee. It's an old Hammer movie, and it's about Satanists trying to recapture this girl that Christopher Lee stole from him for a witch's Sabbath sacrifice. And apparently it went really deep into the actual workings of a ritual, and it's fascinating.
Wow.
But I'm fascinated just in the fact, probably because my mother didn't like it.
Uh-huh.
I had wonderful parents and very supportive, but I didn't play football. I didn't play football. I went to the library. I wasn't interested in the stuff that my father thought boys should be interested in. I was interested in other stuff. So it's always a little bit of that. Turn it down. That's not music, and I'm always the kid turning it up a little louder. That's just me. But yeah, long-winded answer to your question. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So do you find that your book is going to be one of those books that those type of parents would be like, don't let your kids go out and read,
I hope so.
and you want them to
God, I hope so. God, I hope so. I was one of those people like when they put the parental warning labels on CDs.
Yeah.
I was one of the people that celebrated it. Like
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
would buy a CD, I'm like, does it have the warning label? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
But I think everyone should dabble in the dark a little bit. I think that's the one thing I love about horror. Horror is universal, and you can do so much with it. You can be serious. You can make a comedy. What book or you can make something very serious. You can't do that in other genres. If you had somebody in a western all of a sudden start performing some kind of black magic, and it's actually a black magic ceremony, but it's actually you're saying something about religion in a tight situation, you can't get away with that in a Clint Eastwood western. You can get away with that in a horror film. You can get away with almost anything in a horror film as long as you're serious about what you're trying to get away with. If you want to be a horror comedy, watch Reanimator. I dare you not to laugh at that movie. That movie's great. You want to be serious. You want something serious. Watch The Others with Nicole Kidman. It's just serious movie. That's a drama set in a ghost story. That's probably why I love horror. And like I said, I'm very nostalgic, so I have a hard time letting go of the things I love. Like I still go back and read Robert Bloch. Robert Bloch's been dead for 40 years now, and he's writing since the 30s actually, and I still go back and read him because he's one of those writers. It's good. It's timeless. One of my big problems with writing current writers is the insertion of the cell phones. I mean, if you notice, the cell phone service in this book is dead, so they can't go to Google and find a way out of it. That's one thing. We're too connected in a lot of ways. We can't, in my view, no one has a quiet moment to himself because a quiet moment is scrolling through your phone. And there are times I put my phone down and just sit and read. You shut the TV off, shut no background noise, and I'll sit and read because it's the only time I'll get to myself like that. And I think that's important.
So we're almost out of time. So social media stuff, where can people find out about you and the book?
I'm on Instagram at JP Collins. On Facebook, I'm John P. Collins Jr. And as far as that goes, social media, that's it. I don't do much more than that. The book is available on Amazon. Only on Amazon, unfortunately. I wish it was a little wider, but that's fine. If you ever want a signed copy, it's in DM me, and we'll work it out from there. But thank you for having me.
Instant
And
message.
speaking of signed copies, you were kind enough to raffle off
Absolutely.
a copy of your book, and you will sign it, I'm guessing. So just pick one. Everybody have a raffle ticket ready? Pick one. No looking. You're looking.
I'm not. I'm just trying to get my hand in. The number is 376
376
720.
720. 376 720.
Nobody.
Hey, that's
Look
it,
at
sometime. Final thoughts. Charlie, final thought?
First of all, buy this gentleman's book. It's a really good one. And thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
And secondly, we're all one race, human. Let's learn to live together. We're all we have. Be nice to everybody.
Jen, final thought?
Well, that, and also cut the middleman. If you can cut the middleman in every single way, just do it.
John, final thought?
Be kind to animals, tip your waiters, and happy upcoming Halloween.
There you go.
Thank you for coming down, for being a guest on our
Thanks for
show.
having
Really
me.
appreciate it. So that about does it for this week on It Came From the Radio.
Does it really do it?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
So that's right
then we're
here
done.
every week on this radio station. If you miss any part of the show,
Okay.
Yeah.
go to our website, www.itcamefromradio. The archives will be up in a week or so. Our next live